Uh, we don't know much else though. That's all they've really officially said to us. But I think yeah, let's get into this. Let's describe it. So we're gonna first do our Dark Knight. So this is our Dark Knight spectacle. Fireberg, you're just gonna sit in the cold for this one because you're not gonna see it
I'm
unless
gonna
you're on
look.
Twitch. But don't worry,
That's fine.
I'll cover this. All right. So Dark Knight. The Dark Knight has he is a lot more similar to the Slayer than the creator is to the Mage. But the whole way you play him is very different. Some general info is he can use any of the weapons and any of the armors. So he's very versatile depending on how you want to play him. Um, he cannot go into arena or faction war. Those were the PvP, like specific PvP versions. He can do probably fair arena, but not regular arena. And he cannot be used as an assist. So those of you who don't know, we didn't have that in the game yet. Assist is if you if you imagine like playing, when you play Marvel's Capcom, you press like a button and like your teammate would come do a quick attack then leave. Dungeon Fighter is gonna have that eventually. If you have a character that's over level 70, I believe, you can use them as a quick move. Like you can select which move they'll do. They'll just pop in, do a move, and leave. So Dark Knight can't do that because of his move skills and his set. So I'll explain that in a bit. Lastly, he does not get a job title. He is just the Dark Knight. He's just Batman. Uh,
Oh,
that's all he does. Um, oh, I just got an announcement from Yahweh that they can now enter the arena. So that's awesome. So they have no restriction on PvP.
that's understandable.
Another thing I realized is that Dark Knight does not he can enter Otherverse, but there's no Otherverse gear for him when it starts out. It will come later on. Okay, so let's give you an idea of the skills that this character has. I know it's a little small. Try to like full screen your window to see this, but you can see here that all the skills, though they have different names, they all harken back to a specific character skill. So Dark Cross is Gore Cross, um, Dark Rave is Bloody Rave, Dark Wave is Ice Wave. So you're already seeing like now he's like, whoa, he's like every character rolled into one, and he is. He has the most interesting moves of each character all packaged together. And with that, you now get to play basically as four Slayers in one. And that sounds like, at one point, it's like, whoa, that sounds like hectic. How can I ever do that? And the other one's like, whoa, that sounds really awesome. I've always wanted to do, like, Illusion Dance Sword with Agni paired up. Like, who doesn't? Like, that sounds really sick. So, but the people had a problem at the beginning was how do you control all this together? And what they have here is they have this intricate system that you'll have for the character. So what we have here is like your common skill set. Now, if you look, it goes from F1 to F6. Those are going to be your skill set moves, like your hotkeys. So what you'll do is your skill isn't just going to be a move; it's going to be a chain command of that move. So if you press, for example, A, you'll be doing like the first move followed by the second, followed by the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And if you chain it all together, you get bonus damage. So you get to make your own beautiful combos, and they're very easy to execute. You don't need to time it perfectly as you had to when you're playing a Slayer. You can just do like Agni, and then you can just like follow up with like whatever you want. Like I'm sorry, I don't know all the Slayers very well. It's my least played class, but I do know like the sick moves they got. And they recommend that you stick with one weapon so you can maximize your damage of all your skills because the passive is the more you chain, the more damage you do. And what you can see here on the bottom left is a common idea of how it'll look like. On the bottom left, you can see like your normal skill set, your normal hotkeys. If you hovered over it, it would show you exactly what the chain will be, so that if in case you forgot what your ace strain is going to be, you can look at it. And I just want to remind you, he becomes very vulnerable while doing these attacks, and interrupting a combo will do more damage. But as people have stated, this character is deadly in ancient dungeons because he can just go in and wreck face so hard. You just go in, bust out your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 combo, get out. You do not need as much investment as other Slayers. So think of it as not the character that you ultimately want to build, but definitely a character that's just going to support the funding for your main character. So there's always like the farmer character. Like, mine was a male brawler because it was just so easy to gather enemies and just kill things. He will be kind of like that. He will be there to do the harder dungeons to get you the gear for your characters. So really cool character. A lot of people do make fun of it because he's like too easy, but honestly, I think it's a great introduction character if you want to play and you're not a big fan of these type of games. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna go now into the creator, and the creator is a very, very different class. She has not only new moves, but also a very different way to play. Um, what I would first point out is her weapon of choice is a broom, much like a witch, but her recommended armor is plate armor, which no mage uses. No female mage uses this armor. So they want to note that when you're on this armor, expect slower movement speed and jump, because most people who play mages aren't familiar with that slow movement speed. But those of you who play priests, you all know what I'm talking about. Playing that plate armor gets a little heavy. Again, she has the same restriction at the start, but she will get PvP availability in the future. And again, she does not get a job. She's just a creator straight through. So let's look at her skills. She actually only has 10 skills. And the way it works is it's actually paired up by, instead of like, your ASDFG, they will be actually I believe it's QERTY. They'll be like there. And what you'll do is that they say you press Q. Q is like your fireball, right? If you can see there. Q is a flame attack, and it's like when you activate it, you're channeling it. So your left click and right click now do different fire moves. And then if you channel Frost, for example, you'll now have 2 ice moves. Oh, I'm just told right now she's not allowed in PvP. And I really don't blame her because that would just be too crazy. Because all you have to do is like highlight your enemy and just wreck them.
I can definitely understand that.
Yeah, yeah. So again, so I believe she has fire, ice. It looks like earth, protection, and wind. Oh, sorry, not earth. Obstruction. My bad. So she has a very like situational based move set. And she is very like you got to attack somewhere and move somewhere else. So those of you who want to know what the moveset is like, I have some examples drawn up. Let me just close this. All right, so you can see in the top left screen, movement is WASD and jump is spacebar. So it's very different than what we're used to, which is like arrow keys, X, or Z, X, and C, and then space as your command or special move command too. So she has a very different way of playing. It's more familiar to people who are playing newer side-scroller games, but to us who are more used to that, it's going to be a little difficult to use. Then we have here on the bottom left, her basic move idea. So people ask what the normal attack is going to be. You can see it there. It's kind of like a small little reticle, and if you left click, it's like a basic attack. So it's kind of like some kind of force just hitting an enemy. So that's like your basic, I need mana to regenerate right now. Give me some time, and I'll bust out a cool move later. Then we have in example 3, you can see here on the right side, your QERFG. Those are going to be your elements. And then when you activate it, you'll have a channeling that you can see on the bottom, which will showcase your mana and your consumption of said element. And again, your left click and your right click have different moves. I believe from the looks of it, left click is more a direct target, and right click is kind of like an AoE version. But I could be definitely wrong, and they probably just mess it up. So again, I want to bring up the skill set page because that's the more important one for those of you who are interested in the character. So she's very hands-free. I think this character is great for younger players who want to really learn how to play the game and get interested, like playing like if you have like a younger sibling, but they don't want to time the combos too much. So I think this is just a character to bring out a newer audience of players. So for us, it may if for us veterans, it seems kind of like a turnoff because you're like, well, that seems too easy, or I can't get like epic gear for her or him, so why bother? But if you have someone who's always want to play but couldn't get into the timing, it's a great alternative. So definitely recommend these 2 characters to new players. I think they are great additions. I might pick up the Dark Slayer because I've always wanted to play Slayer, but I just couldn't get into it. I think that would be a great idea for me, so we'll hope for the best. Another thing I do want to add, they do not have awakenings or second awakenings, so they're not slotted to get that because their power comes with their unique interface. So that's really where it comes at. So if you like the nice flashy moves, you have to get it from your combo chains, not from that. So with that, that is the showcase for both characters. I hope that was really informational and helping you guys out. Faber, what'd you think about it? You're back. You're